Hi everyone. So maybe this Wild Turkey 101 didn't have quite enough fight to take on its special release counterpart. But does it have enough fight to take on a bottle that was made exclusively to compete with it? We're going to do a comparison and a blind comparison of Wild Turkey 101 against Fighting Cock. That's right. Wild Turkey 101 against Fighting Cock. Why this comparison? A few weeks ago, I did a review of this Heaven Hill product that many people maybe don't know. And I learned that this bottle was made to compete with this. The deal is this. Wild Turkey 101, many of you know, we just reviewed it, put it against Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary release. Thought this was good. Thought that was just a little more special. It was just a little more amped up, a little more aged, better barrels, just a little bit of a fuller, richer, more complete taste. But that does not mean this is a bad bottle. This 101 is a good one. It is a good value, certainly for the money. It's the boldest 101 that you'll probably ever taste. But a few weeks ago, I found this. That was actually more than a few weeks ago I found this, but I reviewed this a few weeks ago. This is Fighting Cock. This is 103 proof. This is 101 proof. This is from the Fighting Cock Distilling Company. The company is actually Heaven Hill. It's non-age stated, but this used to have a 6-year age statement. They dropped it in 2015, but one would have to think it's essentially probably about 6 years, give or take. This one, 101, is typically thought to be aged in the 6 to 8 year range, but I always think on the lower end, so possibly 6 to 7 years. So we're going to say the age statement is fairly close. Maybe this is a drop more, but pretty close. The mash bill, this is the key part here. The mash bill is the same. So the Wild Turkey mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. This is the same mash bill. And it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence because this was made exclusively to compete with this. Proof point, 2 points difference. 103 proof, 101 proof. So this brand specifically was made to compete with this. It was thought of to be it was basically made to be a direct competitor to this Wild Turkey 101. And they thought that they could, Heaven Hill and this brand could basically do things better and cheaper than Wild Turkey 101. And that's why the mash bill is the same. It was meant to copy it, amp it up by 2 proof points. And that is really the sole purpose of this one. And love the name. And basically what they also said is Heaven Hill refers to this brand as the Kickin' Chicken. So let's just put the special release aside. Let's get to the staple. Can the Kickin' Chicken beat the Wild Turkey? Let's put them in glasses. We're going to do this blind, and we're going to see which one we truly prefer. Okay, so we got it all poured up. The glasses are mixed up. We're going to do this totally blind. This is Heaven Hill versus Wild Turkey, or rather the Heaven Hill Fighting Cock versus the Wild Turkey 101. Let's do this. Okay, I got both glasses here. I'm going to look straight ahead. When I did pour in the glasses, I didn't just at quick glance, didn't notice anything that noticeable in color difference. Okay. Maybe a little bit more nose out of this. Again, my nose, I have a slight cold, so the nose portion of my review right now is a little more difficult. Cold, this one a little bit more aroma coming out, but for me, always the pure, the best indication is the taste. Cheers. Okay, cheers. I can see why. I could see why this was made to compete with this. I don't know which is which, but there is definitely a similar taste profile. They're both bold. One is this Fighting Cock is 103 proof versus 101 proof. Similar boldness. Certainly, this was definitely designed. I remember when I reviewed it, it was a very similar type taste profile. I know when I tasted it, it has that similar Wild Turkey taste. There's only one Wild Turkey, but I can definitely see why it was meant to compete with it. And by the way, side note, this Heaven Hill Fighting Cock, even more reason why it was designed. You can see it was designed to compete with this because the normal Heaven Hill mash bill, the majority of the products, the Heaven Hill mash bill is normally 78% corn, 10% rye, 12% malted barley. For this one, They reduced the corn by 3, added 3 points in the rye. Malted barley is the same. They made it 13% rye and 75% corn to compete with exactly the same mash bill. But let's get back to this. I probably should have had water, but let me do this again. And this. I think there's a little bit more room coming out of this one. Normally, I'd say if I like one over the other, it's probably the Wild Turkey, but I'm going to say this one has a little bit more flavor, and it's the 101. Okay. Yep. 101 Fighting Cock. So, this is kind of what I would expect. I would expect the Wild Turkey 101 to win. It did win, but it was close. I mean, it wasn't like a complete blowout. This has definitely had more aroma, definitely had better taste. And now quickly, I'm going to take a taste right now of the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary release, and now put that one against it. It'll actually be blind, but I'm going to put it right here. Now, we got a really crowded field here. So now, not blind, but now I just, of course, poured myself the Wild Turkey 70th anniversary Jimmy Russell release. Cheers. And this just has incredible flavor. So let's take the loser of this round, the Heaven Hill. Put it right next to, make sure I got the right one, the Heaven Hill Fighting Cock. Jimmy Russell's 70th anniversary. Clearly better. But purpose of this was to go against the one that it was really designed, the staple, the all year round, all the time, Wild Turkey 101. I'll tell you this in summary, the Wild Turkey 101 is better than the Fighting Cock. Obviously, the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary is better than both, but this is better than the Fighting Cock. But I will tell you this thing, it was pretty cheap at Total Wine. Only time I've ever seen it. Screw top versus cork. Okay, but if it was meant to compete with it, no, it's not, in my view, beating Wild Turkey 101, and certainly not the Jimmy Russell 70th anniversary. But you could see why it was intended to compete with it. It certainly has the same mash bill. It certainly has a similar flavor profile. But when you try to imitate something, first of all, imitation is the best form of flattery. And secondly, when you try to imitate something, oftentimes, the original is usually the best. So, of this matchup, Wild Turkey 101. Obviously, of this matchup, this one, but kind of expected that one. But for our blind contest here, it's meant to compete with Wild Turkey 101, but you can't beat the original. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for watching.